Yes, massive Wagwan. Andrew Robbins here, Jamaican brother there. Reaching out to all the massive on the African continent. And you're tuning into the Pan-African Beat Show with your host, none other than Joby. Alright. Before you're here, come as for you, take a quick day. I'm taking local crowd to the next levels. Mapeni yule mtoto moto huu haingii kitonga tachokipata ni wifi tunachokifanya katika round hii apati hata sale mana nimeanza na plan B young king flow zao za kipozi zimekataliwa ni uchafu kama kinga zilizovaliwa mimi nataka kile kiti kilichokaliwa sipendi mimi kuchana sana babu ndo nilipozaliwa sikia sasa mimi nazisaka chapa nikijikita kapuni na bonga na lapata najitolea mistari kisha niingie chaka kirudi na kamata na baby choka sanchoka sina mwisha vitendo kile basi na pishana back mimi na wanangu kama Samantha na get kuweza kuleta stories za mama mata point OMG ipo that's my dream team such a rock bomba tulisha team matozi wana kujikuta wenda wazi jiona ni dailo mimi nikuta na YG shake wana na story na ungaba kuche sevi hamna shida geto mashoka meupe mama zako na niganda kama kupe baada hii session enda zangu zenji kula pupu here come mabropo bovu na wafieka ukiona bebe kali puna mimi nimejieka msholi steady jana nitowacha nikizeeka na wala kisha nafungulia sound home theater yombe calm down relax sit back
Wagwan people, karibuni sana. Hope you're doing amazing. I see everyone on TikTok. Karibuni sana. Shout out to Nila. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. Shout out to Selector. Shout out to Selector Ali. Niko Fitu kwa karibu sana. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. Shout out to Ngei. Shout out to Zako Card. Shout out to everyone with us. Karibuni sana to another session of the Wednesday lockdown session. Right here on the Blackout Fire Network radio station. Manzeni mewa miss bana. I had missed being on this chair, on this mic, man. I've not been here since Monday, but since Monday, literally, we've been having just 1, 2, 3 things going on, you know. And of course, it's my birthday week. What's up? I mean, karibuni sana. What you guys doing? How are you feeling today? It been an amazing, amazing afternoon. Right here from the 254. It is a sunny weather today. It is 23 degrees Celsius on our end. Sijuna tusikizia wapi. It's my birthday. Thank you so much, Selector Ali. Shout out to Sami Njenge. You gonna come back. You beat your bum, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Do no madam kulevya here we go. See what only tunapata pesa here we go. Haya sasa kama unavyotona here we go. Here we go. Papi kama gari na iko. Going speed like I'm faster. Rich like I'm pasta. Superstar to know. City Bombay, to a Bombay. Now I rubber, City Bombay, City Bombay, City Bombay. Give us like we miss another City Bombay. Okay, shake up with the family. Okay, load you to quarter. Nobody's home. No one of you that don't see a nanny. No pinky up to quarter. Nobody's home. Since I go one and want to take a pizza. To the pig and your wappy. No fighting's on. When you put up one of with a nanny. Salmon, convoy. Nobody know. We out here. Period. We out here. Karibuni sana. This is the Blackout Fire Network radio station media of the 21st century. And of course, you're listening to the Wednesday lockdown session. I'm your host, Joby. And of course, Karibuni sana. Manzeni mewa miss. Hope you guys mko fiti. Shout out to everyone with us on Facebook, on YouTube. And of course, we're not on the radio station. But in case you shall be catching this show on Spotify, I bet you shall be enjoying. We shall also it shall be also automatically uploaded on Rumble, because I see our Rumble also has issues, and I bet this is because we've been having bad connectivity throughout this week. But nonetheless, we are glad that we have been able to bring the shows that we are able to. Karibuni sana once again. Big up to you, Selector Ali. Unasema niko poa kabisa. Unasema I've also missed you manze. Sijui lakini ni vizuri kujua. Nimekumiss, and it's nice to see your presence right here. And thank you so much for giving the love, and of course sharing all the vibes right here with me. Also see you saying pipeline to Kondani kabisa. Asante sana. Cheki pia hapo James Alex. Karibu sana. And to everyone with us and those who shall be catching this on a replay, I bet you get to enjoy the show of today. That was the one and only Young Lunya. And trust me, I'm in love with this jam. So far, so good. I remember there's a time I was going through his playlist, and this actually happens to be one among my favorite bangers from him. I love it, love it, love it, love it. The spitting, the verses, the messages, everything literally is just super, super amazing. We shall be getting back to one more banger, and of course, we'll be coming back with the topic of the day. And today, we shall be talking about Burkina Faso. So in Burkina Faso, 2 weeks ago, if I'm not wrong, I reported on one Monday of 2 weeks ago, I did report where we had 100 civilians being killed by unknown attackers. And of course, this was reported by the UN, which came forth with the information. They told us that, we have 100 civilians who have been killed, including women and children in Burkina Faso. But the identity of the attackers was unknown. Actually, apparently, during this weekend as well, the same incident has repeated itself. And we've seen not two, but 40 civilians who have died in Burkina Faso. And this is now by known sources who are the Islamist group. So we shall be talking about this and get to discuss and understand bit by bit what is happening in Burkina Faso. We know that there has been a declaration of democracy in the country, but what is really going on? Why do we have people dying if truly a true democracy has been installed? What is really, really happening? So karibuni sana. We shall also be tackling what is happening in other parts of the country, of the continent. And of course, this is something that we call it a backward mentality. Some myths and misconceptions that have still been going on in Africa, a backward, I don't know how to call it, man, but this is something at Breaking I'll be sharing, where we're seeing children being sold for marriages for $7 at the age of 12. This is super, super heartbreaking. I'll be sharing a story of one of the girls who goes by the name Tamara, which is not our original name, but of course she gets to explain because she's been rescued. And I shout out to Malawi. There's a woman, I remember I'll come back with the fact. There's a woman who did come out and actually, rescue these type of incidents that have been happening in Malawi. So karibuni sana. I'll be sharing those among the stories and much more of what is also happening in South Africa, what some real Ramaphosa has to tell us when it comes to us behaving like Chinese. I mean, you lack a better African country to compare us to till unaenda tu kwa China. I want to understand that. But anyway, karibuni sana once again. Do enjoy the show of today. Once again, select na kucheki hapo. Asante sana for the love and for everything you're doing right there. This is by the one and only Skilo Bachelor. I hope you guys get to enjoy this. We shall be coming back after this short musical break. And of course, let me know unanisikizia maeneo gani in case this is your first time right here. And remember to follow the host. And remember to also download our app. Like I told you, in case you want to listen to us via the radio station, Eco 2 app, and of course, go on the Google Play to download. And one thing, like I said, I love about our app, it gives you the opportunity to go chat on WhatsApp. You go on Instagram, calculate your stats, literally just use other applications on your phone still as you get to stream with the Blackout Fire Network radio station. Once again, this is the Wednesday Lockdown Station. Enjoy.
All the way in Switzerland. How you tuning in to the Blackout Fire Radio. Nampenda nani msichana mmoja mtaani, nampenda nani msichana mmoja sidhani, kuna Ivy na Irene na Gadi hawa sijapata wifi, kuna wa IT na kantin wakambia mambana na siogopi imagine, kuna Fanora Costa.
Yeah, shout out to all our amazing first time listeners on Facebook. I see you. And in case you are returning subscriber, karibu sana. Na cheki hapo, you giving the likes, karibuni sana. And to everyone who's tuning in case you are on the Kids News channel, kindly ensure you subscribe, because our channel, one of our channel is literally under protection right now because it has 2 strikes. So in case you've been missing us on that channel, this is the channel we are on. I'm on both channels, the Blackout Fire Network, and of course also on the Keith Newsome channel. Freedom Media na kusheki, karibu sana. You're saying my favorite. I mean, you're my favorite too. Nice to see you.
My baby mama Maria, I see baby mama drama. I swear you get married kwa mama Haria. Ujaribu kunikalia. Hajui mimi Taliban unakademka kole. Down for whatever. Bora form ni mtore kwela wangu wasowe. Ushinda na marivasa kidari ni muokole. Me kupitia machoche. I support single mothers. Ukinijaji it's okay. Nimechoka na Christina.
Yes, my quote of the day today says, everything ends, people change, heart change, love dies. Nothing is ever the same every day, and the only constant truth is you only got your actions to live and die with, and that's what remains, your impact that outlasts your existence. That is my quote of the day, and I hope you stay motivated, Manze. Happy amazing Wednesday. It is exactly 9 minutes to 1 p.m. right here in the 254. I'd love to hear what's the time on your end, and of course once again, me want miss Manze. I've missed being on this chair.
Baba na mama waliniambia niwache raha za dunia, nimeshinda vumilia, nikiwacha nachopata nimerudia. Baba na mama waliniambia niwache raha za dunia, nimeshinda vumilia, nikiwacha nachopata nimerudia. Mimi bachelor boy.
Shout out to Walila Dombiana. You got a name, man. Shout out to you. I see you on Facebook. Let me know where you're listening to us from. And of course, welcome back. This is the Wednesday lockdown session, and you're tuning on to the Blackout Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. Karibuni sana once again. Shout out to JJB. Hope you're doing amazing on this wonderful Wednesday. Let me know where you're listening to us from. Shout out to Frida. Shout out to Selector Nasi Bado, and to everyone who shall be catching this show on Spotify. I hope you get to enjoy the show of today. Like I said, we shall be starting with what is happening in Malawi, and I want to check facts before I get to share this story, because I remember I had an article of this Malawi woman who rescued actually a number of children who have been going or undergoing underage marriages. This is a norm in Africa. It has been normalized, I'd say so, or rather use that term. It has become a norm where we've seen parents selling out their children with cheap money, or rather literally small amount of money, and nobody is held accountable. So kindly allow me to find the article a little bit. Okay, here we have. So actually, she's the first female. She's called Ngoni, and she's a chief in Malawi. And she did end, this was actually in November 6th. She did end the child marriage, and that she has broken actually up to 850 child marriages in 3 years. And they're saying that her chief, the Ressa, Kachindamoto. Hey, yo, shout out to the names, man. Chief Nderesa, not Teresa, Teresa Kachindamoto, who has chosen to lead over 900,000 people in 2015, she has used her authority to annul the marriage and send the girls back to school. She has also faced resistance and threat from some parents and tradition, but she has remained firm in her mission. She has also campaigned against sexual initiation rights, and that exposed girls to abuse and HIV and AIDS. I think we've covered the story from this, from the 254, and which I know happens in many African countries again, where we have the female genital mutilation always happening, same blade, which spreads HIV and AIDS, literally a lot of diseases. She is a role model and a champion for girls' rights in Malawi. Shout out to her, Manze. This is super amazing. Something positive that did, or that was reported on the 6th of November. But today, this was 8 hours ago, I see the BBC did cover a story of the young marriage still going on in Malawi. And this is crazy. But I bet this was before the rescue. And this is why I want to share the article as you get to read and understand together. Shout out to Pavina. I also see you. Nakucheki. Hope you're doing amazing. Hope Jua inakupiga sambamba. And you're hydrating, Penyoko. But nice to see you right here. So this is a child marriage. And she actually comes out and she goes by the name Tamara, like I highlighted earlier. And she speaks of how she was sold into marriage for €7. Pardon, not dollars, but €7 at the age of 12 years. So they're saying it is estimated that 1 in 5 girls across the world is married by the age of 18. But even countries that have laws against child marriage sometimes fail to enforce them. But in Malawi, some are seeing the first signs of change. And I bet, again, like I said, this was since Chief Teresa came into rescue. The third time we visited Tamara, we were told she had left for the nearby fields early in the morning to till the soil. And at 9 months pregnant, there was no rest for the 13-year-old. Tamara, not her real name, has been sleeping on the floor of her aunt's small hut for several months after the husband, or her husband, a man who's in his 20s, ran away. So one thing, maybe before I move on, before I move on with the article, what I got right here on this, or my understanding on this, is where we have, and this is something, again, I'm certain it is happening in so many communities in Africa, which still have this backward mentality. That's just the simplest term I want to use. Okay, backward mentality, and which still other communities who still dwell on these cultures that don't serve us, or rather end up damaging our lives at a very, very young age. So my understanding on this case is this girl, she was sold into marriage at the age of 12 for €7 to a man who is in his 20s, and I bet it's early 20s, probably not even 25. What literally this tells us is that there's lack of education in these types of communities, of the pros and cons of not dwelling in early marriages or dwelling in early marriages, from both female and male. At this point, I'd say actually both the couples are not to blame. The man is not to blame. The girl is not to blame, because there's lack of knowledge of when you should literally engage into marriage. Before we even move on, let me check this in Malawi, because I remember 2 weeks ago again, or 3 weeks ago, we did check with Kamlesh the age of consent in so many countries. So let me check the age of consent in Malawi. Let me ask Google very quickly as we get to see why we have children at the age of 12 being sold out. What's the age of consent in Malawi? 12 years. Wow. So it's not a surprise. So they're saying Malawi, actually, the age of consent is 14 years old. Malaysia is 16 years old. I don't want to know about Malaysia's and all that. But Malawi, it is 14 years old. So she was literally even sold out into marriage before the age of consent, according to Malawi's constitution or the laws. This is crazy. And at 14, I still again say you are a baby. At 14, mind you, not everyone is in their periods in terms of women. Women mature differently. We may mature very quickly, but women also mature differently. There's someone who's going to be having maybe boobies by the time they're 12 years. There's someone who's going to grow literally boobies by the age they're 17, or literally even in their 18s, because I've seen such. Women mature differently. So once you literally sell out a 12-year-old girl into marriage just because of money, because I'm certain the main reason why these cultures are still practiced is because of poverty. Why we still have dowry, and again, which we still have a debate on positively and negatively, why we still have other communities accepting the dowry custom and think it's a norm, while your girl is going to be tortured in this marriage where she's not even loved, because you just sold out your baby. If it's not really received or taken with appreciation in terms where there's greed not involved, then for me, I don't support it. I don't support it. So in this case, first thing foremost, we need to understand, we as Africans, those who right now understand the system and education of Africa, these two are not to be blamed. Both the boy who is in his 20s, I'll call him a boy because he's still young, I'll say he's still young, yeah, and the age of 13, who she's already pregnant. But anyway, we move on and say they're saying that he had the social services were coming to the rescue, and Tamara, from their illegal marriage, let me repeat that. He had that the social services were coming. Of course, he had run away, like I read. He had that the social services were coming to rescue Tamara from their illegal marriage and took off before them. They arrived, leaving her to walk to her aunt's village. A lot has changed in Tamara's life in the past few years. Born in a rural farming community in southern Malawi, Neno district, her family lived below the Malawian government's poverty line. Like 65% others in the region, the war in Ukraine, a direct trade ally to Malawi, added pressure, halting wheat, fertilizer, and supplies, pushing up prices. Like I said, poverty again revolves all around poverty. When Tamara's parents fell ill and died in quick succession, the only child was taken in by her grandmother. But after a month, when Tamara returned from school one day, her grandmother had some news. She told me I had to get married, and she had already received the money from a man whom Tamara had never met and paid. He had paid 15,000 Malawian kwacha for her. That is around $9. Crazy. Tamara's grandmother had already spent the money on maize, poverty again, revolve around him, for the family, and the man was now impatient. Dowry. He has already been paid. He wanted the girl, and he had paid for her to leave school and to live with him. Child marriage has been illegal in Malawi since 2017. But it has long been culturally acceptable in the country and still continues in rural communities like Tamara's, where about 85% of Malawi population live. More than 40% of the girls in the country are married under the age of 18, according to the NGO Girls Not Brides. Life was difficult because of because the man was older. That is what Tamara says. And she also adds that he used to physically abuse her and beat her every time she did something wrong. She lived with him for 3 months until someone alerted social service. Then, as an arrangements were being made for Tamara to return to school, she noticed something. She had missed a couple of periods. Tamara, who was 12 years old, she is already expecting a baby. Almost 100 kilometers away from Tamara's auntie's hut, a short drive from the border of Mozambique, a small bright green building blares out Malawians' pop music. It is the office of the Radio Mzati, a local radio station, and a group of glamorous young women in their 20s are gathered in the radio studio, adjusting their microphones and laughing as they get ready to go on air. Blah, 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 and all to discuss all this discussion and everything about child marriage. This is super, super crazy. And personally, again, I believe it's something that needs to be taken with a very, very heavy weight. It is becoming a norm in African countries. It is becoming a norm, even where dads are raping their children. It is crazy to see at the age of consent in Malawi, it is 14. 14, what do you know at the age of 14, for crying out loud? In Nigeria, and this is why this should make sense to you and to us as African people, why this is the most populated country in Africa. 11 years. At the age of 11 in Nigeria, that's the age of consent. Can you imagine? 11 years. You be living in your puberty. You don't even know what puberty is, literally. 11 years. That's Nigeria. This explains, again, self-explanatory, why Nigeria is the most populated in the continent of Africa. But I'm glad we have people like Chief Teresa Kwandimoto. I even got her name correctly. Shout out to her. She is been advocating for such kind of cases, and now we can see, like they have said on this article, since 2017, this has been banned, but it is still practiced, because even in Kenya, things like the female genital mutilation, such kind of, engagements, of early marriages, even among Muslims, because personally, I used to see it among Muslims, it's been a norm. But for me, again, this is because of lack of education. This is because none of these government systems that have been created want to drive, or rather bring education to these children. Because if they are, take a look at the difference between the children who've studied in the city or the children who literally can acquire education. Just simple analysis. Look at the difference between the children who have acquired education at the age of 11. Let's give it an example of Nigeria, and those who haven't. At the age of maybe 12, 14, 15, let me give it 15, especially right here in Kenya, because by 18, you are, you're good to go with everything in life. You're good to go. But if you put the two mentalities and try ask both about marriage, I'm certain they have different mentality, the different type of thinking. This one understands the marriage at a very early, the one who's educated, it's wrong, before the age that you're supposed to get married. But the other one who's from the village, or the one who never got any education, even doesn't know how class looks like, they'll be like, yeah, since I can save my parents from poverty and my children, my siblings can go to school. Yeah, because I think I shared a video again, still this year, early this year. We discussed this same major issue where it was about female genital mutilation. And we saw that in the northern parts of Kenya, it is happening. And this is because, again, of poverty. Still in the northern parts of Kenya is where there's literally no classes. Children are sitting under trees to study. To make it even worse, the desks are even rocks. I saw a video circulating on TikTok, man. It's so heartbreaking. We have so much funds allocated for all these projects, but it's all being pocketed. So selfish. Very selfish. We have funds that have been allocated for 1, 2, 3 things. But no. It all goes in the pocket. The citizens get to suffer. Africa remains the same way. And then you're going to keep... You'll hear someone say Africans are stupid. Well, no, we're not. At this point, I'm willing to even defend the people. Africans are not stupid. There's someone to blame for this stupidity that has long been prevailing right here, that has long lived in the continent. There's someone to point fingers at. There's someone who's supposed to be questioned for all these funds. How comes just one family is worth billions of money, while the rest will just live in shit? We just live in all this crazy nonsense. This is super, super crazy. But shout out to, I see we got Davy. Davy left. Okay, shout out to you. I see you on Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in. I also see Keith in the building. I see Mzales on this other end. I see John Mosquito. Shout out to you. And I also see we got Keith in the building on YouTube. He says 14 years old. That's crazy and too damn young. That is crazy too, Keith. We were going through this 3 weeks ago on the culture show with Kamlesh, and we were shocked. We were shocked. I was shocked by Nigeria. What? In South Africa, the age of consent is 13. That explains also the rate and why we have HIV and AIDS numbers going high. And then again, talk about the number of children or students getting raped by the number of those who have HIV and AIDS. And the cases are mostly unreported or reported. This is so, so sad. I also see Keith says, yes, it's poverty and ignorance. Well, I won't call it ignorance at this point, Keith. That's why I'm willing to defend with the education. Because if you are educated, you'll not be this ignorant. And I know you'd say we have Africans who are educated but still are ignorant. But at the same time, if you talk about matters of politics, yes, that is something for Africans to claim ignorance on. That is for sure. That is something we've been ignorant on and you don't even pay attention to. But on this case of just where as an adult, I go back to the parents. I want to know what's your culture. What's the culture you really lived with? That's where we should literally start from. Because we're talking about the grandma who was the one who sold her out on marriage. And you'll find the grandma, actually it's the grandma. The grandma, you'll find she went also through the same thing. And this is why she feels this is okay. But if the parents were there, because understand that she doesn't have a parent, she remained with the grandma. If her parents were there, maybe they could have protected her. But this woman is old enough to even not, she can't even go to work. So she needs the money to put the maize in the house for the family and the rest of the kids. At this point, the ignorance comes from the governors, the MPs, the MCs, the president of the country, who has promised through his manifestos is supposed to deliver and even end this kind of things we've seen happening still in the countries and even other parts of the communities of the country. Because it's not even the whole country, as if you speak of Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. No, it's always a certain rural community. 1, 2, 3, you'll find always this going on. So until when? Because at this point, Africans, again, are not to blame for the ignorance. Someone is to blame for not giving the money to educate people and get the ignorance out of the mind. I think at that point, we're very clear. You're also saying, which is $9, and can you imagine selling off your granddaughter? Imagine. And that's what I'm saying. Trust me, if I try look at this, I'm trying to look at it in where we talk about where there's a certain age group right now we can't educate, right? We keep on saying this. There's a certain age group of our grandmothers, our parents, we can't even try pass information to. Because they'll be like, you're crazy. And you'll always end up looking crazy. Trust me. You'll always end up looking crazy. If you follow history correctly, you'll find this girl has suffered, actually the grandma has suffered the same case. You'll find the grandma has suffered the same case where she was sold into marriage at a young age. And this is why she doesn't know if this is wrong or right. You know, in Africa, I've seen this, and I'll explain with the female genital mutilation where, again, and I shared the video. This lady explained because of poverty and because she wants to see her siblings going to school, she had to say yes to female genital mutilation. And she was now forced into marriage after that. Okay, because you can't be, in some communities, you can't be married if your clitoris is not cut. That has been well explained by so many people, so many young women from Somalia, Ethiopia. You can't get married until your clitoris is cut. That is some cultures, and that is a must. If not, you're gonna be chased away from the community. So to avoid being chased away from the community, most of these girls will end up saying yes to such kind of cases to prevent being abominated from the community. It is crazy, and I believe it needs to be stopped. Someone needs to be held. I'm not gonna call them morons, trust me. I'm standing with the grandma, not really the grandma, but I'm standing with the girl, and I'm standing with the fact that it is lack of education that has led to this kind of decision makings. Because there's no way, I believe, if you are educated about, like the northern parts of Kenya, let's say if they were well educated about female genital mutilation, where I know very well, especially, I feel for those who have experienced it. If you just see them talking about it, it's crazy. What? I even try fathom the whole thing. But if I've gone through the same experience, and I go outside or get the opportunity to go outside and even get to learn more and see that this is a backward culture, and I'm trying to educate, because we have women who are trying to literally form groups as activists and go against this kind of behaviors, which is a norm in some communities, but they will be prevented to by the same community. Because the government itself has not been able, because let me tell you, to make people believe, it has to start from the top. Okay, for me, the way I see it and the way I see the Africans' mentality, especially if I look at the rural areas, to make believe it has to come from these leaders. For it to be followed again, it has to come from these leaders. If these leaders just did implement this from the word go, when we attained the so-called independence, will not be seeing such kind of culture still being practiced. But because of greediness, selfishness, theft, stealing money, call it how you want to call it, just thinking about themselves and their families, is what has gotten to this point. Just simple like that. You're also saying, damn, 11 years, that is disgusting. It is, and very heartbreaking. That's why I did warn you. I said, like, this is a sad story I'm going to be talking about, because I knew where I was heading with the topic. You're also saying that 11, that is pedophilia. It is. But apparently in Nigeria, it is not pedophilia. In Nigeria, that is the age of consent. This is why we have 250 million, people of the population in one country. And even much more, because we're talking about a GDP that was given, I don't know, the census which was done which year. We've not done census this year so far. I don't know when Nigeria is going to do its census, but we're going to see what's the additional number. Has it gone high, or are they going to say with too many people in the continent? Because they always come up with 1, 2, 3 things. Shout out to you, Alicia Wanja. Karibu sana. And Joe Mosquito, hi, I see you too once again. But as we move on from that particular topic, let me know, for those who shall be catching this on a replay, what do you guys feel about what is happening? Because personally, I believe it is super, super crazy to have the age of consent 14, 11, 13. That is, again, like what Keith has called it, pedophilia, you know. But apparently this is a norm. This is a culture in some rural communities in Africa. But I believe we should have more women chiefs. And shout out to her, Manze, because I've not heard of a chief who's come out and spoken in years. Chiefs are not chiefs anymore the way we used to know them. Chiefs literally could help in such kind of cases. You could not hear violence. There is violence in marriages. You could not hear violence in communities. You could not hear just all this nonsense you keep on hearing every single time. You couldn't, because there was someone who was taking serious justice for the people, and he meant it, or she meant it. Shout out to the Ressa, who has been there for the people since 2015. And of course, I appreciate and honor such kind of women, and majority of what we need, you know, in the African continent. Not these women who seek power and there's nothing they ever do for the people. But moving on swiftly to the next topic, I want to talk about what is happening in DRC Congo. And this is something, again, I've been talking and hinting on about the coming election, which is supposed to be held on the 20th of December this year in the DRC Congo. We've seen the displacement of the people, how it has been happening. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody is addressing this, apart from people on TikTok only, because that's where we've seen TikTok now is becoming our news. You know, TikTok is becoming the president of Africa, apparently, where we can just form and talk about and understand each other. You know, TikTok has just become the president of majority, because this is where people are just literally expressing themselves, getting to talk about what is not being addressed by the mainstream medias. It's crazy. It is super, super crazy. But in DRC Congo, there was a rally that was being held by one of the opposition leaders, who's actually also vying for presidency. And of course, it goes by the name Moses Katumbi. And one person has died because of this. One person has died and has been killed at an election rally of Democratic Republic of Congo opposition leader Moise Katumbui. This is the information coming from his party. And the death occurred as Mr. Katumbui convoy was heading to the rally venue in the southern eastern city of Kindu on Tuesday. And Harvey Daiske, a spokesman of Katumbi's ensembled party, said live bullets were fired at the rally and stones were thrown and some supporters were injured. The fatality is the first of the presidential campaigns, which began 9 days ago and will last for a month. The elections will take place on the 20th of December, and the local authorities are yet to publicize our comment on the death. However, Peter Kazadi, the Interior Ministry, urged presidential candidates to respect local authorities' directives during campaign trials. This is crazy, and of course, I'm not surprised because this is always a norm in every African country. Always expect this, okay? Always expect just you hear someone is gonna die, especially on a presidential rally. You're gonna host someone was injured, other people are throwing stones at each other. I don't know at this point if Congolese understand they should not even be tribal. They should form unity at this point, and they should be denouncing this election because there's no you lack peace in a country and you want to vote for another president. What is the previous one? What is the current one done? What has Tshisekedi done?
Yeah, but that's why you got to get him out of office. What are you talking about, Joby? He hasn't done nothing. He's a puppet.
So how sure are we the next president who is already causing fatality right
probably not, because you haven't fought. That's right. Then what are they supposed to do, Joby? I hear you saying it. What are their options? What are they supposed to do? Keep the current company?
No. Yeah, and if possible, yes. Tshisekedi needs to be actually answerable for what has been happening in Congo. That is question number one. Why won't he be taken to the International Criminal Court to answer the charges of so many people who have been displaced, so many people who have died,
doing the bidding of the Europeans. They're not going to put them on no International Criminal Court is a joke, Joby. It's owned by the same people that's looting the country. So that's not, unless he goes against them, then he'll be taken as an African, and he had no choice. He's not going against his rulers. He's helped exploit, help loot Congo. That's why he's there. So,
well,
so what?
Personally, these are my thoughts. And you're also allowed to give your thoughts, Kid. But personally, my stand is Tshisekedi needs to be, and even the previous presidents who've been there, because Congo has been suffering.
I ain't say you didn't have to write your thoughts. I said, what is the solution? You keep saying, why vote? Okay, what are they supposed to do? I'm asking you.
Before holding elections, Congo should seek a way to maintain peace first. That is number one. Before literally moving to any elections, because
how? I'm asking, yeah, okay. How?
We've seen the UN, it's not working. The East Africa community is not working.
We know is not working. Okay, how do we restore peace, Joby? I'm asking how.
The people. This one, keep listening to me. Just pay attention, please. Just listen. You just invaded, in my show. Karibu sana. But anyway, listen. What needs to happen? Personally, I don't know if the Congolese people understand clearly that they should form unity at this point. I don't know if they're still tribal, if they still have the tribal differences going on.
It's Africa, so yeah. Those borders are phony. It's Africa. Yeah. It's Africa. What? Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, for me, I don't know how, but all I'm gonna say is that I believe Congo should maintain its peace before they decide to even hold an election. Because people how are people even going to vote?
People don't want to be peaceful. You saying they should maintain it. How? You keep saying they should. How? Okay.
I don't know how, Keith, but that's what I know. That's all I know. I don't know how.
Okay, man. I'm not running Congress. Don't get mad at me. You keep talking.
No, I'm not. Trust me. I don't know how, but I believe
you getting mad because you don't got no solutions and you're getting frustrated.
Well, at least I gave them a hint. That's what is happening. At least I've given them a hint on what they need to do. Form unity as the people of the Congo. Actually, what should happen? The Central Republic of Congo, the small Congo, DRC Congo. What should happen with these
That's the Republic of Congo. What about the Republic of Congo? What does that got to do with the DRC? What they got to do with that?
We talk about the division of these three countries, don't we?
Well, that's a different country now. You can't. We talk about just the DRC by itself. We're not talking about the other Congo. Let's stick to one Congo, Joby. Let's stick to one.
By sharing the video I shared. You just came here to challenge me, didn't you? But anyway, Karibu.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. You all hyped up on your Africans are not stupid and blah blah blah. Okay, then why can't they unite in Congo then?
from the video I shared some time back on one of the shows of the Africa Today show, which was seeing this Congolese woman explaining the division. She did
Yes,
mention the division of these three countries. So if one person literally understands that they were divided for them to have what we have right now, the Central Republic, Congo, and DRC, you want to tell me they are really not that smart enough to understand through unity we can also beat down these people? Because I understood clearly, and we checked the level of literacy. We saw the level of literacy in Congo is high. Why the destruction?
It is high. Then why? Okay, it is high. Then again, okay. So now you're asking. Okay, it is. It was surprisingly high to me. I was surprised it was that high. I'm not going to even lie. It shocked me how high it was. Okay, then why? Then why won't Africans unite for their own benefit? Then why won't they unite for their own benefit? That's the question.
That's what I was trying to explain from the term you used, the ignorance part of the poverty and ignorance. Poverty is another thing. Nobody has time to think about the neighbor. Nobody, literally. That is what poverty in Africa has done. Everyone is thinking about themselves. How am I going to secure my family? How am I going to pay electrical bills? I got school fees waiting for me. I got a bunch. How do I have time to think about my neighbor? I don't have time. Let my neighbor handle their problems. But the part of the ignorance part, like I was trying to explain, it goes back to these leaders we claim our own. Okay, they have failed. That is just a fact. Nobody has delivered any of the manifestos that they have.
But they're putting it. They're not putting power to succeed. Of course, they all fail. They put there to fail. People, go ahead.
Exactly. Okay. So the ignorance, literally, for people not to be able to understand this unity again, it goes back to where we've been denied the true system of education. Because just an example of like what I was talking about in Malawi, the grandma of this kid, you'll find out what she did is because she went through the same thing during her time, the same culture, and this is why in her mind she thinks is okay because I'm in times of crisis, and the only wealth I got is this lady, so I gotta sell her for $9. Okay, that's basically
it means it means you're immoral and you're despicable as a human being.
If the system of education was brought to this young child who was sold away to marriage, for her to understand that this is a culture that we didn't used to practice and this is something that we're trying to break right now, should have said no to the grandma respectfully.
But that's true. I mean, the grandma is despicable, but she's in a system of government that's despicable because you also got. I know. These are my thoughts. I'm not telling you to be with me. Okay, I'm not. You got the right to your own opinion. I'm telling you mine. Okay? I ain't tell you don't. I ain't tell you don't have your opinion. I told you the grandmother to me is despicable. I don't care what kind of culture you tell me. What kind of culture tells you it's okay to sell your own child away for $9? You are despicable. So also, what you have happening because the culture is because the whole country is despicable. Because you have them now going. That's why you got Malawi going to sending their people to Israel to go farm inside of a damn war zone. When Israel don't even like black people, kicks them out, don't want them there, but it benefits them because all their people are fleeing away to war. Oh, bring in these black people, let them do the work inside bombs being blown up. If they die, who cares? And so you think the Malawi government doesn't know this, but of course they were paid. These puppets were paid. These people are going up there to get these bum ass jobs. It's not going to pay them nothing. Now their lives are going to be in threat because all of these African leaders are criminal. All of them is despotic and criminal, and they had the pleasure of uneducating their people. They've done that gleefully, because the amount of ignorance in Africa is crazy. It's unacceptable, and that's right. The leaders are. It is unacceptable. It is outrageously ignorant. Shout out to Ibrahim Traore, dismantling the whole educational system in Burkina Faso. Said you got to learn. We've been lied to for so long. Shout out to you when you got a real leader who does real things. Shout out to him. You have a real man who's being a real leader. You don't get to be a leader because somebody said you're a president. All your people are backward and ignorant, and you benefit off the back of their ignorance by your stealing and your graft. You don't how dare you call yourself a leader and a president of anybody. Sound crazy as heck when all Africa is in trauma. The whole continent's in trauma. Wherever you go, okay, where you Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. Hell, Nigeria had Maria look up the damn the livable rates in Africa. It's like hell, Kenya's got one of the best ones at 67. Because the Africans used to live to be 160. I said, you're so backward, so ignorant, so messed up in the head now. You don't even live
What
long no
rate?
more. The birth rate, how long you
Oh,
live, how long does life
oh,
lifespans means how decent your countries are. Kenya was hiding. Kenya was 67. It's called the livable rate. You can look it up. Ghana was I knew Uganda was gonna be low, 64. I knew Nigeria is nothing but 57. That's the lifespan. 50 Ghana is 64. I was surprised that South Africa was so low, but I shouldn't have been surprised because the Africans are impoverished there too. I think South Africa is 66. So Kenya's higher than all of them. That's why Kenya's a jump. 57 is Nigeria's. That means your life is miserable. 57. And it's the richest country in
it's
Africa, and your life
crazy.
expectancy. Huh?
But it's because of what people are eating too, Keith.
Of course.
Poverty count on it.
I
What
just
people are
said it's the
eating.
poverty. I just said that, of course. These despots are not living to
Yeah.
be 57. They're the ones getting the best food. They're the ones robbing and stealing from the people. I said it's the lack of
Mhm.
education now. Why the live
Mm.
look, Africa's like I told Maria, Africa's been put in the dark ages. Everything's been stolen from its education. Now you're dealing with a country of morons, a continent of morons. That's why the damn the life expectancy rate is so low. The life expectancy rate for the white man got there was 160 years. It's a fact, not my opinion. So let me do my facts. Now the average lifespan of a Kenyan is 67. It's not even half of what it used to be. Half would be 120. So it means the education in Africa has got so deplorable, so backward, so the robbery of African intellect has been on I was like, Nigeria is 57, Toby. And these Negroes are running around here bragging about being Nigerian.
Yo, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked about anything coming from Nigeria no more. No.
That, that, that shocked me. That shocked me.
I mean, you
57.
don't expect to be swimming on sewage, diving like that inside and out, and you expect to live longer.
I know,
What?
but I know, Joe, but God dang. God damn, everybody ain't living on sewages in Nigeria. God dang. Come on now. Everybody not,
I'm just saying what I saw. Okay, it is on YouTube. Don't come after me. It is on YouTube. Okay, go check it out. Go check it
I,
out.
I
And
know,
be
but
shocked.
everybody's not living on sewages. Good grief.
I know, no, but
I'm
majority are in poverty. That's just the
50,
truth.
I don't know,
Let
57.
me see.
Hey,
Let me see what's the percentage of people living in poverty in Nigeria. What's the percentage of poor people in Nigeria?
what's the percentage of poverty in Nigeria?
And they're saying that Nigeria 40% of people are poor according to that was 2018. Um
So half the country's
2018 national
that's
poverty line.
half the country's in poverty. 50% of the country's in
16,
poverty.
63. It increased by 2022 up to
Dang.
63. Uh-huh.
63. That means majority of the country's in poverty. Yeah, majority of the country's impoverished. And poverty in Africa is rough. They're
Hmm.
63%. Wow, that's high. But
Yeah, they're also saying that multidimensional poverty is higher in rural areas where 72% of people are poor compared to
wow,
52% of people in urban areas.
72. You meant no wonder why the Chinese and everybody's exploiting Africa because with poverty is ignorance, 72%, and you
What?
got And Jovi's looking at them Nollywood movies. Oh, I wish I was Nigerian in Nollywood.
I want to be born in Nigeria so bad. Like, I need me the mansions. What you talking about? I'm born in Kenya. I want to go to Nigeria. I want to go to Nigeria. But before we get to the main focus of the day, which shall be Burkina Faso, I have two more stories. One coming from Cyril Ramaphosa. Since you mentioned China, he did speak of South Africans to act like Chinas. They told South Africans to stop with the bad mouthing, stop bad mouthing your country. The same President Cyril Ramaphosa has told South Africans.
Every despot talking about stop bad mouthing the country when the country's bad and doesn't represent them. Doesn't do anything for them. See, this is the same. This is the moronic, backward puppet leadership you got in Africa. The ignorance. You know, stop bad mouthing the country. What are you talking about? When things don't work and the country doesn't benefit us, you're supposed to bad mouth it. He's telling you be an automaton like Chinese people can't bad mouth the country. They go to prison because they are in a slave camp in China.
Exactly. True. We know they're locked down even. They don't even have, do they even have freedom to speak?
No, Joby, no. They don't, no. They got no freedom of speech in China. China's a dictatorship, a brutal dictatorship. No, that's why he sounds crazy. This moron here. That's why he put there this moronic puppet.
This was funny to me even reading. Sorry to distract you. This was funny to me reading. I was like, you literally lack any better African country to compare with because you're all the same. It's a copy and paste where you literally fail to deliver to the point you have no perfect example to just point at as the rest of the African people should literally focus on. Why can't you? What?
Exactly.
There's no better example in Africa to just point at, say, like, be like Nigerians, they have developed, be like Kenyans, they're like this, be like Ugandans. No, it's all the way to Jinping, This is funny.
And the funny thing about it, China's, see, this moron doesn't know. He knows he knows most Africans, especially South Africans, are ignorant. Doesn't know China's a basket case, and China's falling apart, Joe. But like I showed you, you can go check out that. But he knows his people are ignorant. He knows that, so he can just say any old stupid thing. Be like China, okay? Well, go look at China. China's now begging America for money. Please help us. Please, no, China, you're about to fall apart. We're gonna help you fall apart. Sorry, designers, it didn't work to move your empire to China. You better have your world war because China's back is gonna be broken. It's gonna be broken. But this moron, this idiot, this imbecile, I'm glad my children are right. My vocabulary is coming back because I'm not using profanity. My vocabulary. This imbecile, this moronic imbecile here, this poor excuse for a president talking idiotic nonsense. You can look at, I have Joby pull up, what is the Chinese economy right now? It's falling apart. China, and all you Chinese bots that listen to me on TikTok and everything else, listen to me now. You would not take over Africa. Your country's falling apart. Your country's falling apart. You came to America to beg for money. Yeah, because a lot of the damn, I told you, when the white people find out what was going on, the Zionists that sold them out, the white people were not going to be for businesses still being in China. There's going to be a cost to pay. Revolution. White people are not going to sit in poverty like the way black people do. So they've already woken up. They said no more money in businesses going to China. Yeah, they've already said it. The white people in America, they're like, uh-oh, they know they're getting replaced by robots. Things not working. So why am I sending my money in my factories to China? So China.
I see that the World Bank did cut Chinese gross domestic products forecast for 2024 to 4.8%, 4.4% from to 4 point.
It's going to start being worse than that. China's done.
Yeah, to 4.4% from 4.8%. That was on Sunday, citing the persistent domestic difficulties such as elevated debt, property weakness, and an aging population.
Yeah, aging population. Like I told you, dying. So they're never gonna become rich. And you got to think China's not a rich country. China's not rich. It's not considered it's if I developed itself, but it's not considered a rich country. No, it's not. So it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna go back in poverty, and we're gonna help it go there. It's gonna go back in poverty, and we're gonna help it go back in impoverished. So sorry, Zionists. We're gonna push China back into the poverty it's always had, because this never made all the businesses that it stole, didn't create anything, are moving out of China. So it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. What are these morons gonna say then? That's why China's trying to buy up Africa,
Yeah,
trying to
you
steal
should
the.
see them how they're talking in Kenya, man. I'll share a video I bumped into on TikTok, but you won't understand because he's talking Swahili. A Chinese who's talking Swahili or angry, talking disrespectful, and they're
But
here
that's what.
collapse. Their country collapsing,
That's what.
Come on.
That's why we got you to translate, Joe.
Oh yeah. I'll share it with you then. Translate for you. But anyway, before we get to the main topic, again back to Malawi. I wanted to talk about this since we talked about it on Friday. Malawi was to send, that was on Friday, 221 young youths to work in an Israeli farm. But
I
actually,
told
they've
you.
increased the number to 5,000. Okay. They say
Yeah,
221 ain't enough. So they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah.
increase.
Yeah. It's not enough for you Negroes to come with a blowing up bombs and our people run. You know your lives don't matter because your president's are bootlicks and handkerchief heads. We'll take you up there. So if the Israelis are running out of there because it's war, the Africans are so impoverished. Yeah, I'm going to Israel to get blown up to do some farming. Yeah. What? But that's how despicable these fake presidents, that's how despicable they are. Despicable. There's no other word to tell you about these African bootlicks, these African puppets. They're all despicable. Okay, we didn't understand it. Except for the three that got free: Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The other Africans, I'm talking about some. I'm not talking about no. And when I say Africa, I don't include no Arab countries up in the north that were stolen. I don't include them as Africans. So make sure we understand that. To my black people, the Africans, these leaders are despicable. Every last, you don't got one leader that's worthy of any kind of praise in Africa today. Not one out of the 50 of them that's in sub-Saharan Africa. Not one. Every last one of them is a despicable bootlick. Ain't that funny? There's no such thing as 100% of any statistics on the planet unless something was put there on purpose. Goes against the
Mhm.
statistical averages. But Africa
True.
is 100% of despicable despots. That means there is a system to put these despotic morons in power. Every last
Mhm.
one of them is despicable. That's why they don't speak up on each other because they know they're just as despicable as the next one. Despicable.
True.
Telling
Let me
me
read this
somebody,
before I get to the main
telling me
focus.
somebody,
They
tell
say
me an 11
Malawi.
year old, tell me an 11-year-old child it has the age of consent when that's a baby. And are you out of your mind? Are you out? Yeah, are you out of your mind? 11-year-old child can consent to sex. This is a baby. It's a child. Your whole culture is backward and disturbing. Let me tell you, I was already disturbed about the 57. Then you tell me that its age of consent in Nigeria is 11. Man, I would keep my mouth shut. Talk about Nigeria.
It's
Shut
crazy.
up.
But they say Malawi's government has announced plans to send 5,000 young people to work on Israel farms, despite criticisms of sending
They can't.
221
They
young
can't. They
people.
can't find you no jobs. These morons can never create no jobs in their country. Got Ruto talking to Germany. I'll send you my Negroes. I'll send you my Negroes, master white man in Germany. And now you got. I'll
This
send you my. I'll send you my
one,
Negroes from Malawi, master Israeli. These
uh-huh.
despots can't create nothing in their own countries. I got to go to Israel, get bombed, to do some farm. So I'm going to be growing tomatoes while a rocket shoots past my head, Joby.
saying that we are looking. This is what they're saying, that we are looking at an initial figure of around 5,000 young people. That was what we were targeting on now. And Malawi Information Minister Moses Kunyu told the BBC News. And this is what they also
He got
add
the
that
right name, Coon. He got the right name, Coon.
shout out to you, Ayo. Nice to see you. And this is Ayo. Hi. Okay, I hope you're not the one. Others, they're saying that others have been there for more than 5 years, and we're just adding to those figures. So we have Malawis who've been working there for 5 years, and they're
Not
adding to
many.
those figures. Are they
It's
safe? That's the question.
it's not many because they don't like black people in Israel. They're racist, Joby. I mean, Israel one of the most racist parts of the planet. These Zionists are racist, racist. See,
Yeah.
now people start to know these are the ones people that run the world. They race. The racism is world. It started with them. They're racist, and it's not no imagination. Now I can go. So the whitest races can be free and go leave the country because it might be dangerous. But bring in these black people so they can farm my bullshit, and I don't care where they get blown up. And their government doesn't care about them because every one of these leaders are put there not to care. They're one of these despots. And then your tribal, he's my tribe. Yeah, he's your tribe. Why he sends you up there and you get blown up. Good. Shout out to your goofy tribe.
It's crazy. But to the main focus of the day, good luck to the Malawians. If you're not clever enough to just demonstrate on this guy giving you jobs with Chakwera, then you guys are insane to just think this is an opportunity. Because again, like we explained this.
Where you going, baby? I'm going to God's people. You also a moron believing these people are God's people. I'm going to work for God's chosen people. Oh,
I know that's the excitement. I'm certain that's the excitement they have.
I'm going to work for God's chosen people. Yeah. Well, you're getting blown up for Jesus, baby. It's okay. Go get blown up. We love you.
It's insane, man. But to the major focus of the day, which is about Burkina Faso and what is happening. We've had 40 civilians who have been killed in Burkina Faso. And 2 weeks ago, on a Monday, I did report 100 civilians killed, including children and women. This weekend, on Sunday, we've also had again 40 civilians. And they're saying that this is reports still being brought by the UN like last time.
Isn't
it
it
has
funny?
said it appealed.
Why is the UN focusing on Burkina Faso so much? That's their terrorist groups trying to what you see is, fam, this is called a smear campaign they're trying to tell Burkina Faso's not safe because look, Europeans get mad when Africans get free. So Malawi and Burkina Faso and Niger are getting free of colonial rule where there's resources. So you got Ibrahim Touré talking to the youth. It's a video. I'm so proud of this young man. I'm so very proud of him being in there. I'm so very proud of this young man. Tell him that you've been lied to. We can benefit from everything we have in our country. We've been lied to. So that's why they're building refining to keep the gold there. All the gold was stolen out the country, of course, and benefiting the Europeans. So they're now trying to do a smear campaign. Look at Burkina Faso is unsafe because our people not there. All lies. I don't want your people. Stay your butt out of my countries. Africa, you need to learn to deal with your own problems. So what you see now is that the Africans are now going to get rid of these terrorists. These terrorists are back, put in there by the Europeans. Make sure we understand it. By the Zionists. These individuals have been put there to cause havoc. Ain't it funny? Before the white man showed up, there was never any terrorism in Africa, ever. Now that the white man is there and he's got his neo-colonial policies in there, you have terrorism everywhere there's minerals at. So he can steal and extract and keep people impoverished. And he steals and makes himself rich off the backs of Africans. Keep the Africans ignorant. That's why Africa's so ignorant now. Keep them ignorant, backwards, and destabled. So, you destabilize the country. That's why all these African countries are destabilized. That's why you got Boko Haram and Al-Shabaab and all this other nonsense running around Africa. So this benefits their theft. in Africa. So when you finally have a real
Mm-hmm.
leader to overthrow, oh, he overthrew the junta. That's not the junta. They elected him. Now he's an elected leader. You don't like that. And so what he's doing is they're going to kill all these terrorists that are causing these problems. So yes, you can't say, Joey, I don't understand. What you mean you don't understand? You still got the terrorists in parts of the country. You got to clean out the terrorists. They're going to still be doing terrorist acts. Just because you finally get your country doesn't mean you still don't got insurgents in there sponsored by the British, the French, the
Mm-hmm.
Americans, IMF, the same people that cause havoc.
They're still gonna come in. They're still gonna come in.
Yeah, they're still going to be there. But
That's
they
what.
were already there because they were still there. I got to eradicate
Mm-hmm.
them from the country. That's what I'm busy doing now. I still got to eradicate them.
Well,
So I got to
well,
eradicate them.
I believe if Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, if their military, groups, formed a strong army, they can be able to actually deal with this
That's what
if
they're
they
doing
really have.
now.
Yeah.
Unless you missed it, Mali had just eradicated some terrorists in the northern regions. That was just last
Mm-hmm.
week, where they just eradicated
Mm-hmm.
those terrorists and took back that town
Yeah.
from being
Yeah.
under the
Yeah.
terrorists like 7 years. So it's going to take time for us to
Yeah.
regain control of the country. You just don't because I'm now the president, I got control of the country. I got to go kill these terrorists that the Europeans have backed. So it's going to be
I get.
skirmishes like that. So what they're trying to say that, oh, that's why you see that the UN never gave a damn, and then the Western media cared about no Burkina Faso. That's why you see now they're now writing on it. Oh, look how unstable it is. Let's give it back to us, and we'll try to help and stabilize it. All this other nonsense they say. No, I'll stabilize my own country. And when I get these terrorists, I'm going to unalive them. They're not going to pop up just like Nigeria, this scam country, all these fake terrorists running around. Why can't Nigeria get rid of these terrorists, Boko Haram and all that? Why can't they? Because they're not supposed to. These despots know that those terrorists are putting it by their masters. They know that. How can some terrorists you
Mm-hmm.
can't kill in 6 and 7 and 10, 20 years? You crazy? Go get Russia. Russia kill
See.
their ass. Russia kill them within a couple of weeks. Go get the Russians. They kill them. You know. So every time, so shout out to the government, the new governments. They knew that every time they were going to kill the terrorists, they were told not stop, don't stop, don't do it. Then they finally figured out. It took too long for them to figure out what they did. Oh, these are Europeans that create these terrorists. Yes. Shouldn't have took you that long, Burkina Faso, Mali. Yes, Niger. The terrorists are the white people. They fund them. These people don't got no jobs, so how they got money for gas to put in their little motorbikes and their little terrorist machines? Where the money come? Who? How they get clothes? How everybody got uniforms? How everybody got shoes? And the average African in these poor countries walking around like Joby said, using gloves for shoes. They ain't got no money. So how these terrorists got money, don't got no jobs. They don't got no companies that they own. Who's funding it? They ain't sure ain't them.
Yeah.
The common sense tell you it's the European.
Well,
That's how they rob and steal. So shout out to Burkina
well, we
Faso.
still we still have. Yeah.
Go ahead, Joby.
Go on.
I said shout
Oh,
out to
okay.
shout out to oh go okay, we got a lag. Let me finish then. Shout out to Ibrahim Toure. You make Africans proud. This is what the African leader used to be before you got colonized. You cared and concerned about the people of Africa and your people first, not you.
Yeah.
Not putting some raggedy, phony paper that these IMF, the World Bank, and America prints from nothing, has no real value. You can break the Europeans back. Stay strong. Always look out, son. There's going to be coup after coup after coup against you. There's going to be assassin after assassin after assassin. Because once you start turning Burkina Faso around like you're doing now, the other African people are going to say, hey, why are we not like Burkina Faso? Why don't we have real education? Why don't we have our own? Why is he talking to the youth? Say we're going to empower the youth and give you businesses. We want you to start businesses of your own, and we're going to back it. Why are none of these other governments doing that? How is it that the Middle East, and shout out again, he said that How is it that the Middle East it has no resources but oil richer than any African country? Yeah, that's a real question everybody needs to ask. How's the Middle East wealthier than South Africa, Kenya, Burkina Faso? How's that possible?
Still in our
Something's not adding up. And shout out to that
mm-hmm.
guy was talking about that Kenyan land that white people still own. White people still own 50% of Kenyan land, and ain't none of these despots got it back, asked for it back. I think the Kenyans don't. I think most Kenyans don't even know. Kenyans, do you know most of the land in your country is still owned by white people? Do you know that? You're almost just as bad as you're not as bad as South Africa, but you're close. Do you know that?
No, we're not that bad though.
You know when you go back to big farms, they're owned by white people that stole that land. Do you know that? It's 40,
I don't think people really know that. Not majority.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. You know, 48% of land is owned by white people in Kenya. I know it's like 95 in South Africa. I didn't even know it was. I knew it was high, but I knew it was half. The white man still owns half of Kenya. That's why you got to go when Charles comes by, you got to dance in front of him. Do your tribal nonsense, dance in front of him, because the British still own all your lands. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is it that high? I knew it was high. That's why you're impoverished, Kenya, because the white man owns the land. That's why. Like in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, they own that land, and they're not going to give it back. So
yep, and this is why we see them, Ruto giving them away just for free. But anyway, family, I'll wrap it up there. And before I
they're gonna show the Chinese video about the man being disrespectful. What happened to that?
Oh no, it's on TikTok. I have to find it, Keith. I'll share with you personally on your TikTok and type the description.
I think the rest of the world would like to see it, Joey.
All right, I'll share it tonight, but not now. I'll have to find it because I can't. It has to be among the videos that I've watched before.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So much love, family. Before I wind up, I want to big up to Inosetu all the way from Black Fire, Uganda. Happy birthday, and I hope you have a blissful, amazing day. Celebrate it as you should, and I know that we are proud to have you as a part of this amazing.
The suit and tie on yesterday, boy. I said, calm down. I said, calm down, man. I'm gonna give you that grocery money. You ain't gotta get all dressed up and go out to the streets of Kampala and beg. Yeah, it's all right. You got to go beg.
I didn't see him yesterday, but happy birthday to you, Inosetu. Have an amazing one.
Had his old suit and tie on. I'm like, hey, man, you ain't got to go to the streets of Kampala and beg. We got you, man. It's all right.
It's good to see we got two such crabby people on the Blackout Fire Network, the fire in it, But Karibuni and Asanteni Sana to everyone was.
Is it Sagittarius right now?
Yeah. It's already a Sagittarius season. Yeah, it's from 23rd. It starts from 23rd or 24th. 23rd, I guess.
Okay, dang. Two Sagittarius crabby asses. Wow, that's crazy.
Period. Wow. Much love. Job Mosquito, I see you saying that you invading LOL, brother Kid. Job is calling you a colonizer. He invaded my show. You just popped in.
I know. You said, but look, just like a colonizer, Joby couldn't stop me from dominating.
That's a nice one. That's a good one. Much love, family. As I tell you, I see you back, but I'm winding up apparently and unfortunately. Thank you so much to everyone who has been with us, to 102 viewers. Asanteni sana. See you guys on to Bonge Show. Remember to come back on the next episode, which is the African
Facebook. It's like we get some new people on Facebook. They always they talking about getting rid of the thing.
Yeah, we have.
They must have took a lot of the ban up because they talk about taking the channel down. They keep telling they're gonna take it. Well, take it. Yeah.
I don't know, but I've noticed every time we have new people right now on.
I know. I'm surprised. I was like, how they let new how they let new people come? They had completely banned us on that Facebook. I just kept it up just to keep it up. Now that's probably why they're talking about taking it back down. I didn't know we up to 17,000 followers on that thing?
Yeah, and I told you to send me the login. You haven't.
I don't know. I gotta go home. I don't know if I'm on my phone. I don't know what it is. I don't know the password on thing. But I'll try. It said that thing said we're up to 17,000. Is that right?
I've not seen it. I have to see. I have to check it. I have to check
We've
it. I'm
been
always like on.
stuck on like 12,000 for like 6, 7 years. I think I got some message 17,000. 17,000 on this Facebook thing. You don't get nobody over there.
Then you are wrong. You are wrong. I think you need wireless to do the thing. To do the thing. With these a million
I do.
people. But anyway,
But hold on, stop trying to rush, Joe. We good. Cameras ain't there yet. We gonna get Katie. Katie gonna be all right. We need when you guys come back from Mombasa, we gotta start doing videos. I'm gonna start doing like promo videos for Facebook or well, it's really for Instagram, but you gotta do it through Facebook. So so start making you guys do promo videos to get awareness. Then we gotta figure out
yeah.
how we can do events. I really want to figure that out so we get brand awareness out there. And, hey, Joby, you change that Instagram thing. I only been Instagram. We're not located in Kenya. You must have changed it, or did Spikes change that thing? I never changed it
Which one?
on Instagram. The Instagram page. Did you change that
Changing.
thing?
No, we have two. We have two accounts. We have them yours and the we created a 254 account.
I know, but I don't see that the main my account says that we're in Kenya. I don't know. We still in the United States. That must have been Spikes. That was Spikes who did. That must have been. Yeah, I think that's probably Spikes who did that. I don't know because he must have also changed. I don't never be on. I don't know how that Instagram thing works. That thing's too annoying. I don't know that Instagram. I don't be on that thing. I don't know how to work it. So
on the profile, or because I'm on the Instagram right now and I don't see on the profile or
I don't know the page. The page does it say location Kenya?
No. See? Don't you
Yeah, okay. I thought it said Kenya on there. I didn't know. I don't know.
No, we have the other one.
Okay, maybe I was on the Kenya one and didn't know what the heck I was doing. I don't know.
Probably, but yeah, we'll wrap it up there, kid. I'm a move with time. That is me. I'm a move with time. So much love. See you guys later on the
Move with time. Move with time. Yeah, you better get out and talk about that time stuff to me.
Much love, family. Thank you so much to everyone who shall be catching this on a replay. I hope you guys get to enjoy. And of course, regarding what is happening in Malawi, in DRC Congo, what do you tell the people of Congo? What do you think they need to do? Should they boycott the election?
Joey just comes in here and shouts all upset. How did they should vote? What are they doing? What are the solutions, Joby? Not the what are the solutions? What are they doing? Why are they voting for this man? Why are they going to vote? Okay, then what are they supposed to do? That's the question.
Don't vote. Don't go vote. Just don't do it, okay? Sit at home, relax, take your tea. If you got some to take, go on your normal hustle.
Then that puppet's still going to be there then, Joby. So I'm supposed to still expect, if I've always, okay, Joe, it's all saying, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten. So something has to change. I'm sorry. If you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten. So you can't complain. Things don't change around here, Joby. But what have you done to change it? I've done absolutely nothing. Well, what you talking about?
Should be a revolution or a coup. One of the things has to happen.
Sound like Maria, like Maria was asking about Malcolm asserted truth. The price of freedom is death. The price of freedom is death. Some people are gonna die. So you want the only way forward in Africa is revolution. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So that's what they need to do. So you asked them what they need to do in Congo? They need to think about how can we form a revolution. They've already said in America's so bad and corrupt now. They've already predicted because they know these white people ain't gonna stay when they can't pay their bills. They said by 2031, America's gonna fall apart into a revolution. They've already got it predicted because ain't nobody gonna stay where I can't eat. I got no money to pay no bills. There's no everybody's a robot. All these people getting fired and being placed with robots. What am I supposed to do then, Joby? I'm in the streets. What I got to leave? I can't wash my butt. I got no place to live. I'm on the streets. I'm hungry.
It's a
I got no
revolution.
food. Yeah, I
It's
got
a
no
revolution.
choice. Because
It's a revolution.
when the government ceased to work for you, family, your only thing left is revolution. It means your governments were not set up to work for you. You got no other choice but to revolt. And that's gonna come. But by then, when that time they vote here, I'm gonna be living in Africa. I'm gonna be nice and happy going back from Dar es Salaam in Kenya.
You gotta be gone. You gotta be here, eating them gokos,
I'm gonna be
eating them
I'm
chicken.
gonna be good. I'm gonna be the number one Mbaba.
Man, peace, man. Let me find you that song that Danny Talks dedicated to you some time back. That is Mbabas. Let me see if I can get it.
He did
Mbabas.
what? I'm gonna be the number one.
Yeah.
Like it.
There's a song Danny Talks dedicated to you of Mbabas,
All
and I
right,
played
cool.
it one
Give
time.
it to me. To Danny. I'm gonna be the Mbaba, baby. I'm like,
I can see it. I can't remember the name of the jam, but much love, family. Thank
that's
you so
bad. Don't
much
worry
for
about it. Don't
being
worry
with
about
me.
it. I mean,
See you guys on the Tubonge show.
Nifanye hii kama sifanye tena kujideka. Baba, I'm taking over rap to the next levels.
who knew? I'm
Wameni
an
shida
Mbaba,
mtoto
baby.
moto haingii hamu kitonga tachokipata ni wifi konachokifanya katika round hii apati hata sale mana nimeanza na plan B young kid flow